Okay, so initially, okay, we'll see how a .NET will work, what exactly a .NET is. So coming to the objectives, in this session, I'm going to be giving you the introduction related to .NET. Okay, not only the .NET, we'll also see .NET framework followed by .NET framework architecture and components in the .NET framework. Okay, and we'll also see a feature called as language interoperable. Okay, and we'll also see Visual Studio, working with Visual Studio environment, Visual Studio tips and tricks which simplifies your application development. Okay, and working with some components in the Visual Studio we'll see in this session. Let's start with the architecture first of all. First of all, I would like to tell you most of the people are from programming language. So everybody feels that .NET is a programming language. So instead of this one, I can tell you a question that, okay, you can make a question that, is .NET a programming language? Absolutely not. Okay, .NET is not a programming language. Then what is .NET? What is .NET? We'll be calling .NET is a framework. Okay, .NET is not a programming language and .NET is a framework. In this slide you could able to see my heading was also given as a .NET framework. Okay, and I would like to confirm .NET is not a programming language by itself. Okay, so before starting a session, okay, before understanding .NET framework, let's understand what is a framework. Why do we need a framework? Okay, what exactly can be done with the help of the framework? Okay, hope you understand my point. .NET is not a programming language and it is a framework. Okay, irrespective of any programming language, you will be having a respective framework. Okay, let's start with the beginning, like a framework. What is a framework? Generally, framework stands for, okay, software infrastructure. Okay, the word itself indicates self-explanatory word. It's an infrastructure. Okay, it is not a programming language. So what do you mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure is nothing but, okay, the required things to continue. If you want to continue anything, you need to have a required things, a minimum things. For example, a car will be having an engine. I can say that an engine is a framework. Okay, anything like the minimum things related to the application development continuation called as framework. Okay, and a framework is software infrastructure in which a software that provides generic functionality can be selectively changed by adding user written code to it, hence providing application specific software. Okay, I'll tell you a small example here. If you have an infrastructure, we can directly go to the application development. Okay, if you don't have an infrastructure, the people will start building up the infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure is a mandatory for any place where we want to continue. In the same way, for every application, we need to have an infrastructure. Okay, so when we have an infrastructure, instead of writing from the scratch, we can directly continue. Okay, that is what exactly called as an infrastructure. Okay, I'll tell you a small example here. Okay, when a client approaches to you with a requirement, generally clients approaches to your requirement. When a client approaches to your requirement, what we will be doing is we'll be giving you some options to the client. For example, think that Mr. One of the student like Abhinit approached me to construct a building. Okay, so to construct a building, okay, he given me the requirement, and what I'm doing is, as an architect, I'm giving two options to him. The first option, I'm telling that, okay, we can build, okay, from the scratch. That is the first option I'm telling. Then coming to the second option, okay, we can take the support of, okay, ready-made foundation. Okay, there are two options I'm giving. First one is we can build from the scratch. Second one is why don't we take the support of ready-made functionality. And while giving these options, I'm giving some points. If you do it anything from the scratch, Okay, the thing is, first of all, it's a time-taking process. Okay, then second one is huge investment. Okay, third one is huge manpower. So these are the points which I'm telling you. The second one is when we take a ready-made support, which is guaranteed, pre-tested, we can start implementation. Am I clear? So tell me, what do you suggest? Generally, I have two. When a client approaches to me, I am giving you two options. One is we can build everything from the scratch. While giving this option, I am telling the conditions that it's a time-taking process, huge investment, and huge manpower required. Whereas coming to the second one is it's a guaranteed by a company with a pre-tested and it's a full of support, guaranteed with support. Okay, generally, obviously, everybody will select the second one. Why everybody will select the second one? Here I given a point, that is, it's a guaranteed, pre-tested, or you can say the experienced architecture. Okay, experienced architecture. So definitely everybody will go for this one. Okay, so what do you mean by this one? In my option is second one is nothing but a framework. Understand? What is a framework? Framework is a ready-made infrastructure for any application. Guys, understand what is a framework? Framework is a software infrastructure. That I mean to say is which is already built, which is already having experience, which is already having the maintenance support. Everything is available. That is called as generally a framework is. Do remember, for every programming language we have a framework. I can say that in Java we have a framework, in PHP we have a framework, in .NET we have a framework. And I would like to repeat once again, .NET is not a programming language by itself. .NET is a framework. Am I clear? So .NET is a framework. Then we have already seen that what is a framework. Framework is a software infrastructure. What is a framework? Framework is the software infrastructure. So why do we need a framework? Framework contains the support of built-in. Framework contains the support of guaranteed. Frameworks are pre-tested. With a framework, we need not to do anything from the scratch. We need not to do anything from the scratch with the help of the framework. Hope you guys understand what is a framework. Then coming to the frameworks which are available in the market. Best example, when you talk about a programming language in the market like Java, .NET, PHP. Every programming language has a respective framework. Example, in Java we have something called Java framework. .NET we have .NET framework. In the same way like PHP we have a PHP framework. What are these frameworks? Frameworks contains the architecture. Framework contains the libraries. Framework contains the programming languages and also contains the softwares, licenses, softwares, languages, etc. And these frameworks will make your application development very faster, comfortable, etc. That is what exactly called as a framework. And do remember, .NET is not a programming language. .NET is a framework. Java is a programming language and Java also have a framework. PHP is also a programming language and PHP is also having the framework. Let's see generally what a framework contains. Framework generally contains three components. First one is runtime. Second one is built-in libraries. And the third one is programming languages, or you can say programming languages, or compilers, etc. Any framework, wherever it may be. A framework contains a process engine called as runtime. Okay, and a framework contains built-in libraries. Okay, what do you mean by built-in libraries? Ready-made code. Okay, and a programming languages are also existing in the frameworks. Okay, hope you understand, guys, what is a framework. Let's come into frameworks. There are two types of frameworks. Frameworks are two types. One is framework for development. Another one is framework for deployment. Okay, framework for development. Another one is framework for deployment. Okay, what is the difference between these two? Framework for development, which contains programming languages, compilers, etc., which requires for application development. Okay, so framework which contains all three in the development, whereas here you'll be having only two. Am I clear? So frameworks, every development framework contains runtimes, libraries, programming languages. Am I clear? Let's come into the frameworks for deployment. Frameworks for deployment, you'll be having something called built-in libraries. And do remember that frameworks are free to download. Frameworks are free to download. Understand? So while coming to this development frameworks allow for application development, application debugging, and application execution, whereas deployment frameworks will allow application execution. Understand? So development frameworks allows application development, application debug, and application execution. Understand? What about this one? It allows application execution. Am I clear? So you have every programming language in the market, in the industry, like Java, .NET, PHP, etc. are contains frameworks. So what a framework will do? Framework helps you to create the application. Framework helps you to debug the application and execute the application. So development framework which allows everything, whereas deployment frameworks which allows you to only execute the application. In deployment application, we cannot debug, we cannot do any modifications. Hope you understand, guys, what is a framework. See, guys, in the middle, if you have any doubts, please use the chat feature so that I can easily respond to you. Clear? Shall I continue this? Let's come into .NET framework. What is a .NET framework? When you talk about a .NET framework, see, .NET framework is a framework which helps you to, .NET framework is a framework which helps you to develop, debug, and execute applications targeted to .NET technologies. .NET frameworks helps you to develop, debug, or execute applications targeted to .NET technologies. So .NET framework, we can say that it is a framework from Microsoft. Am I clear? It's a framework from Microsoft. What it will do? It is used to develop, debug, and execute applications targeted to .NET technologies. Am I clear? Targeted to .NET technologies. What do you mean by this one? Any application which you want to work with .NET, that is possible with the help of .NET framework. Without .NET framework, we cannot we cannot execute or we cannot develop the applications in .NET. So you can understand that .NET framework is a framework from Microsoft which allows you to application development, application debugging, application execution, which targets to .NET technologies. And you may ask a question that what a .NET framework contains. .NET framework contains what it is. As I said to you that every framework contains what runtime. So .NET framework contains runtime. What is a runtime for .NET framework? CLR. What it is? Common Language Runtime. So the first component of the .NET framework is .NET Runtime. So .NET Runtime, which makes your application to be very comfortable in the process, like it helps you to application development, application execution, etc. And I said you that every framework contains 3 components, right? Like .NET framework is also having 3 components. We have seen the first component called as runtime. Okay, what is a runtime for .NET? Common Language Runtime. While coming to the next one, libraries. So what are the libraries related to .NET? In .NET, we have libraries called as assemblies, okay, available in the extension called as DLL. Okay, these are the assemblies. And we're also having programming language compilers. Okay, so this is what exactly .NET framework contains. Why this .NET framework is required? .NET framework, okay, is required to develop, debug, or execute any applications targeted to .NET technologies. Okay, hope you guys are understand, right? See, DLL is nothing but dynamic link libraries. These are the ready-made codes. DLL files are, okay, you can see pre-compiled, okay, libraries, or you can say pre-compiled classes. Okay, when I'm talking about the libraries, you can open and see them. The location will be C drive, Windows, and assembly. This is the location for all the libraries which are installed in your machine when your .NET has been installed. So this is what exactly installed when your framework has been installed in your computer.
Okay, Kiran, I have a question here.
Please.
So if I am developing an application, I have to develop the DLLs as well, or it is like predefined which I have to use it from the system libraries?
Yeah, so it depends. See here, what will be called built-ins are 90% supportive. Okay, but 10%, why? Because your businesses are different and your requirements are different. So what we need to do is we have to write our own libraries. So in the further slides, I'll explain unique features of the .NET. See, I'll tell you a small example here. .NET is having thousands of libraries. Maximum .NET libraries are sufficient for your requirement. And also .NET provided a feature that we can write our own libraries. I'll tell you a small concept here. .NET application development is based on, will support the tiered architecture. Okay, tiered architecture. Okay, so when you're talking about a tiered architecture, okay, architecture contains some tiers. So tiers are nothing but user-defined libraries only. Am I clear or not? Why?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
your business is 100% unique to your client requirement, right?
Yes.
So
exactly.
your business may not what will be called satisfy the building libraries. So we need to write our own libraries. So .NET provided a feature that we can write our own libraries and we can install in the place where your existing libraries are there. This
okay,
is
which language we are using
so
here
for
writing that
in our program we'll be using the C# .NET. C#.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
For developing the libraries, it's like value. Next,
okay.
Coming to Mr. Ravi. Ravi, is it clear? Hello, Ravi?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
far
Ravi.
so good. So far so good.
Very good. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Very good. Coming to Mr. Suresh. Suresh, is it clear?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yes.
Very good. One second. So, coming to the continuation, so we understand what is a framework and what is a .NET framework. Okay, let's coming to the next one. See here, everybody will get a what will be called different doubts. Okay, if any question arises that why do I need to learn a .NET when there are many programming languages in the industry? In other language will be called as in the market there are many languages. Why do we need to select C#? Okay, it's a very important question, and even for the experienced people also the interview question. Why do we need to learn .NET? Or why do we need application development using .NET? Or why the clients are requesting you to develop the applications using .NET? Okay, why do we need application development in .NET? So the first answer is, okay, .NET has unique features. The word itself indicates .NET has unique features. When you're talking about unique features, these features are not available in other programming languages. Okay, so what are those unique features? Okay, we'll see them one by one. Okay, so first one, the first feature is multiple language support. So this is the one and only programming language in the industry providing this feature. What do you mean by this feature? In order to work with .NET, okay, .NET is not asking you to learn a particular language. .NET is telling you that you are allowed to work with .NET using any programming language which you are aware. Am I clear? There is no rule to work with the .NET. I repeat, if you work with the Java, you need to know about the Java code. If you want to work with something called PHP, you should be good in PHP. I'm telling you a question that I'm an experienced person with a VB of 10 years. I'm not allowed to work in Java. Why? Because I need to learn the Java syntax. If I am a PHP person with 20 years experience, can I work in Java? No, I cannot. I need to know about Java. But .NET is not like this. .NET is providing a feature called as multiple language support. What do you mean by multiple language support? Okay, so here any language is allowed to develop applications in .NET. Am I clear? You can use any language which you know. Example, if you are good in COBOL, you can continue in COBOL syntax with .NET. If you are good in VB, you can continue with VB.NET. If you are good in C++, you can continue with C++.NET. If you are good in Java, you have a JSharp. So the feature is multiple language support. What do you mean by multiple language support? Is any language allows. A best example, I'll tell you that more than 50 successful languages, okay, are allowed to develop .NET applications. Am I clear? More than 50 successful languages. What do you mean by successful languages? They are currently continuing in the industry targeting to .NET. Okay, an example I can say that if you are good in .NET like VB, you are allowed to continue with VB.NET. So VB.NET is one of the programming language can be developed using applications targeted to .NET. If you are good in something called C++, we have VC++.NET. If you are good in Java, we have a JSharp. If you are good in C#, we have something called as VC#.NET, etc. Many languages are there. I said you right, even I am not fully aware of 50 languages what are there, but we know that more than 50. Apart from this, there are more plugins. Example, you can continue your PHP by adding a PHP.NET plugin. Okay, you can use COBOL.NET plugin. You can use something called Pascal.NET plugin. Okay, Fortran.NET plugin. What are these? These are the plugins generated by some mono community where those languages, okay, those plugins convert your Fortran code to .NET understandable code. Okay, this is a unique feature available in the .NET, like other programming languages can't even, okay, try to introduce these sort of features. Okay, there is a first and what we call foremost feature related to the .NET, that is multiple language support. Okay, coming to the second one. Once the second one is done, then I'll give you the chance to ask that out. Let's come into the second one. Language interoperable. What do you mean by language interoperable? In .NET, there is no rule that your application should contain code related to component generated in one language. Okay, that indicates you can have multiple components, and each and every component has been designed using different languages. I repeat, you may have multiple components, each and every component developed in different languages can communicate without integration. Okay, let's see this. See here, one component developed using one language, say C#.NET, can communicate with another component generated using other language, say VB.NET. Am I clear? This is possible. Understand? So here, one language developed in one language like C# can communicate with another component which is generated in VB.NET. It is possible. Note, without integration. Right? So this is a best feature related to .NET. You may ask a question that why do we need this? Think that I have two teams. One team is working from USA, one team is working from UK. Think that US team is good in C#, they are developing the components in C#. While coming to the UK, they are developing the applications in VB.NET. Now, as a person in India, as a main architect, I can consume both the components done in both the programming languages without integration. These are the two unique features related to .NET. Let's come into the next one. So I said you that there are many features. Look, now we have seen the unique features. Then coming to the other features. Okay, I'm telling you the other features. So the next one is thousands of building libraries. Okay, so this is one of the features. So what do you mean by built-in libraries? There are more than 1,000 libraries which helps us to communicate with different applications, or you can say different databases, etc. Let's see that. Okay, in order to communicate with any application, okay, you will be having lot of libraries ready-made in your .NET. As I said you that there are some assemblies. Okay, assemblies are collection of ready-made classes, pre-compiled classes. All these are libraries. You can see thousands of libraries. Some of the libraries are nested. See how many libraries are there. They have hundreds here. Even I'm keep on scrolling. Okay, these are the ready-made libraries. You can consume these libraries. Even these libraries are having the nested libraries, etc. Many things are there. You can see still okay, after that MNOPQ, this will be having many things. You can see this. These are thousands of libraries where we can consume. Okay, so this is one of the features. Okay, coming to the next one. Powerful framework. The next feature is powerful framework. What do you mean by powerful framework? .NET framework is comparing to other technologies. It's very powerful. How much powerful in the sense? Most of the softwares in the industry are designed and developed using the .NET only. Without .NET, there are most of the softwares are not exist. Example, you can say that if you want to work with QTP software, you need to have you need to install the .NET framework. So you can understand that QTP is working above .NET. There are many components out there. Okay, many softwares are working with .NET framework. After installing the .NET framework, you can install the file and you can execute. Okay, then coming to the next one, and it's a very important something called as powerful application software. Okay, called Visual Studio. Okay, powerful. Okay, and you can call it as a intelligent software for developing application. Okay, this is what exactly the next feature. We can even call it as a important feature called as Visual Studio. Okay, .NET is famous because of Visual Studio also. Visual Studio makes your application more simple. Okay, so these are some of the features related to .NET technologies. First one is multiple language support. Next one is language interoperable. Third one is thousands of ready-made libraries. Next one is powerful framework, and the next one is powerful and intelligent application software. Okay, hey guys, in the meanwhile, if you have any doubts, please use the chat feature so that your request will come to me. Alright, let's coming to the next one. Okay, so we have seen what is .NET. Now we can say that what kind of applications can be developed using .NET. So here in .NET, we can say that instead of creating different applications, I can tell you one answer that .NET allows to develop any kind of application where a client required. So instead of calling, I can develop a web application, I can develop a Windows application, I can tell that .NET is a language, okay, or you can say .NET is a framework which contains different languages, allows me to develop any kind of application where a client is required. Okay, let's see here. I given around 7 examples. 7 types of applications are developed. Okay, best example, I want to I'll explain through what we call as, once again, I'll explain through one problem statement. For example, I want to utilize a feature called as fund transfer. Okay, so this feature, how generally a customer likes. For example, a customer want to transfer the fund of rupees, something called as 1,000 crores. Am I clear? And customer want to do it, okay, immediately. Am I clear? So his requirement is different. So we need to write an application, okay, so handle this one. Okay, we need to write an application, handle this one, that to be done instantly. So for these kind of things, we need to have one more type of application. For example, I want to give something called as a instruction. I want to transfer. For example, I want to lock a user. I want to fund transfer. Something I'm writing instruction based. It is also possible. Okay, so how do these sort of things are there? For example, I want to do the application like fund transfer around the clock. This may be one more requirement. Okay, around the globe. I want to do it. This may be one requirement. Am I clear? For example, I want to do it through my mobile. It is possible. Or I want to do it through my social networking site. Am I clear? I want to do it through my TV channel. TV dish. Okay, TV channel. Is it possible? Anything is possible. Okay, let's see this example in detail. For example, when a customer is telling that I want to do this much amount instantly. Okay, so to do this one, definitely you need to have a kind of application called as native applications. So what do you mean by native application? Native application is an application which is directly involving with the technology. Okay, in order to do that one, we can develop an application called as Windows applications. Am I clear? So your .NET allows to develop any kind of applications. First one I can say Windows application development. What do you mean by Windows application development? Windows application development are .NET native applications. What do you mean by .NET native application? .NET native applications are the applications which are native to .NET related operating system called as Windows operating system. Now this much amount I can transfer to another account instantly with the help of this one, the reliable feature. Okay, next one, instruction based. I want to lock a user. I want to fund it. Simple, I'm telling that fund transfer. Okay, from customer 101. Okay, of rupees something called $1,000. Okay, to I can say customer 102. So this is instruction based. What is this instruction based? I can simply say that console application. So what do you mean by console application and why do we need it? So console applications are instruction based. Okay, what is the advantage? The advantage is we need not to load the program. We need not to install the program. Just pass the instruction. When you double click on the execute, it will work. So you can understand that here Windows application need a software to be installed in your machine. Okay, software to be loaded, but console applications need not to load the application. Need not to install the application. So you can understand that Windows application requirement is different, console application requirement is different. So this will be handled with a huge amount, whereas this will be handled with small requests. Okay, here application need to be loaded, application need to be installed in your machine. Here application need not to load, just an executable file is there. Using the command line parameter we can do it. Okay, 1 second. Let's coming to the next one. Here some of the times client may ask a feature that I would like to operate an application around the clock, okay, around the globe. So how it is possible? I'll suggest him a web application, or I'll suggest him a website. So websites, web applications, which allows me to operate the application around the clock, around the globe. So in my house itself I can do. But what we'll be doing is applications in the web are a bit risk. Why? Because there are a lot of problems. Why? Because web is network of networks. So what we'll be doing is we'll be giving them instructions, or we'll be giving the facilities limited, or we'll be handling this one. So that is also possible with the help of this web application. So another one is mobile application. This is very, very important. We can develop mobile applications, like we can develop an application which works through mobile phone or tablet PC. This is possible. Am I clear? Then coming to the next one. I would like to have an application. I would like to have a social networking site, and my application to be operated from the social networking site. Is it possible? Yes, absolutely it is possible. From the social networking sites or other technologies can utilize my programs using something called as services. I can write a service. Okay, I can make my application to be operated from any technology, any site, anywhere. Am I clear? Not only that, I can make my application to be processed using a TV channel also. Like you can say some dish TVs, etc. can operate my applications like this. Understand? And what about other things, like can we develop an application which to be operated in my mobile operating system? Absolutely. We can develop an application which should be operated in other mobile operating systems like Android, okay, iOS, etc. It is possible, absolutely possible with .NET. Okay, so these are the different kind of applications can be generated using the .NET. Okay, hope guys you are understand. Let's start from again Abhinit. Abhinit, tell me, what are your doubts?
No, I have no question.
Very good. Karthik. Karthik?
No, nothing for now. Nothing for now, Kiran. So far.
Very good. Ravi?
Yeah, fine. No questions.
Okay. Mr. Suresh?
Hi, Kiran. What technology is used for doing the mobile PC and tablet
Yes.
PC? What technology is used to develop that?
Your question is for Windows Mobile or Android? Which one you're looking for?
Windows Mobile.
Windows Mobile, you have .NET directly. If you install a Visual Studio Express Edition, like I can say Visual Studio 2012 Express Edition for Windows. Okay, this software helps you to develop the application for mobile phones and tabs. Okay, it is possible. If you want to develop an application for this one, .NET directly is not possible. As I said you that Mono community has been released a language called as a Xamarin. Okay, Xamarin. If you install a Xamarin, Xamarin helps you to develop an application like application operated in other mobiles like Android, iOS, etc. Clear?
Like for example, yeah, this is a framework which is used to develop Windows, but I'm asking what technology is targeted for Windows Mobile, like Windows Azure, or there are different technologies.
Yeah, you can. As I said, you right. It's interoperable. You can use anything. Like we can use VB.NET. You can use C++. Any language you can use. Okay. So you should know the syntax of mobile programming language, and you can use anything. Even this is also this feature you will be understanding in a bit how this other language will work. But the thing is, this software you'll be using something called as a XAML code. Okay. You have to use XAML code. Okay. Hello. Is it clear?
Yeah.
You'll be using the XAML code and you can use whether it's a VB.NET or VC++ or anything.
Okay, very good. One last question probably. What is this other mobile operating systems like Android, iOS?
Yeah, there is a separate language has been introduced called as a Xamarin. Okay, it's one of the additional template. Okay, so it's actually from Mono community. It's a open source. If you can download this one from internet. If you open this, the syntax and environment looks like your. If you select an Android environment will come. Android application development takes like Java syntax and all. So that's environment will come. iOS syntax will come, but it will be part of the Visual Studio. Okay, it's a component. Clear?
Okay, so we can develop Android and iOS applications inside
Absolutely.
Visual Studio.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anything is possible. You need to install a Xamarin. Xamarin is available in 2 flavors. One is what will be called open source. One is paid version. Okay, in the open source you can do it for free, of course. Paid version you have to pay for commercial purpose. Clear?
Yeah. I have one last question if I could ask you.
Please.
How do we know what's inside a DLL, or can we actually see what's inside a DLL?
Yes, we can see. There is something called as ILDASM. Some tools are there. When you open the tools, we can see the coding of the DLL. Okay, it is possible, but limitations are there. You can see the what will be called method specifications and all. We can see, but we cannot see the entire code. Clear? When you have a procedure, you can see the procedure heading, procedure parts. We can see procedure what will be called parameters, but we cannot see the internal coding. But we'll see that one. I'll show you that. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So hope guys you understand. See, till now whatever we have been explained related to what is .NET, what can we do with .NET, nothing else. I am not explaining any architecture related to .NET. Okay. So hope guys are clear as of now. Let's come into the next one. See, I said you that .NET allows you to develop console applications, allows to develop Windows application, allows to develop web applications. So you can say in the market, maximum web applications are developed using .NET. I can show you a small example. So an application which is going to be operating from, okay, Access Bank. This application is completely designed and developed using the .NET only. Okay, so you can what will be called operate your banking transactions using the .NET. Okay, you can see a small example. I can show you that this URL, if you observe, okay, this URL is completely developed. I mean, this application is developed using the .NET. Are you able to see this? Okay, hope you understand, right? So these applications are developed using the .NET. Okay, like you can say HDFC Bank. This application is developed using the .NET only. Okay, so these applications are designed and developed using the .NET. So .NET is reliable. .NET is reliable. You can use. So there is one snapshot has been given in the print, like the Lakshmi Bank. Even this bank is also developed their application using the .NET. Clear, guys? Next, coming to the next one. So here, if you open any websites like what will be called newspaper sites, okay, these applications are designed and developed using the .NET only. Okay, so these applications are what will be called not only for displaying the news, will also play some videos, will also play some audios, will allow you to go for what will be called post articles. You can comment, you can respond. Many things are possible. Okay. Earlier days, newspaper is nothing but a web page. Now these are web forms which need a programmable. All these are programmable forms. You can understand that these applications are designed and developed using the .NET. So you can understand that these days clients are approaching companies for developing applications with the prerequisite is .NET. When the company is not able to do it .NET, then they are going for other technologies. More than 80%, surveys are telling that 80% people are happy with .NET. 80% people are happy with .NET. Okay. Now when it coming to .NET is famous because like you can see the continuation. Very comfortable. First of all, the thing is very, very comfortable. What do you mean by comfortable? You can easily handle the situation, okay, like developing the application, executing, etc. And I said you that it is something called multiple language support, which is having a very, very application faster development feature with the Visual Studio. And the next one, yeah, one more important question I want to tell you. Most of the people will ask you a question while comparing to Java, okay, is .NET is a platform independent? Okay, so this is a question, and what is the answer from Microsoft? It's dependent. See here, Microsoft responds as dependent. Okay, Microsoft say Microsoft developed .NET, okay, to run on Windows operating system. Am I clear? So as per Microsoft, it is not. It is designed and developed only for Microsoft. But what happened? .NET has been become famous. Other languages also want to continue .NET famous, and they designed something called as a mono community. And mono community designed something called as mono CLR. Am I clear? So .NET framework runs in Microsoft, whereas mono CLR runs in Linux and Unix. If it is runs in Linux and Unix, obviously it will automatically runs in iOS and other programming languages. As per mono, here, as per mono, it is platform independent. Okay, finally the solution is partially independent. You can see that. As per the mono, mono is not a product from Microsoft. Mono is a product from mono community. You can download that one from internet. Okay, if you're working with something called Unix operating system, Linux operating system, you have to install the mono CLR. Okay, when you have a mono CLR, your application will work with Unix, Linux, etc. Okay, this is the answer for .NET is a platform independent or dependent. It's a platform partial independent. Let's come into the next one. As I said, you right. Other frameworks support application creation, servicing, etc. Okay, next one. I've given that best example. What is the difference between other frameworks and .NET? See the first example. Other frameworks depends upon one language. .NET supports more than 50 successful languages. Okay, Java is interpreted, which makes Java slower. That is some other concept. Okay, whereas .NET, all programming languages are compiler based. There is no interpretation in the .NET. You have only compilation. Okay, .NET runs very faster in native. Okay, .NET runs in very faster in native. The reason is .NET from Microsoft, Windows operating system from Microsoft, so it is having very good compatibility. Okay, there is something called as a types of features and all, which are not available in other languages. We have in .NET. Okay, .NET languages are very richer than Java. They include types of pointers, everything. You will be understanding them slowly. Okay, let's come into the next one. Okay, so evaluation, you can see that. 1 second. See here. .NET released approximately on 2000 the version called as 1.0. Okay, .NET released with a version called 1.0. Okay, 1 second here. Released with 1.0. But what happens, you know, .NET came to the market in 1.0, but it is failed to what will be called make on standards with commitments. Okay, there are a lot of problems in the .NET 1.0. Then what happened, you know, approximately in 2003 they released something called as version 1.1. So version 1.1 is reliable. So people became confident that we can rely .NET. Okay, so .NET introduced in 2000 the version called as a around 2002. Okay, it is released with a version called as 1.0, and after that 2001 onwards it released with a version called as a 1.1. Then they introduced something called as version 2.0 and version 3.0. Okay, version 3.5. Up to these versions, okay, .NET is okay in the sense you can really reliable and all, nothing special. But from 4.0 onwards, okay, it is completely changed. Version 4.0 onwards, it's completely changed. It's coming with something called Visual Studio 2010. Okay, 4.0, it came with a new architecture. Okay, it came up with new architecture. Okay, with additional facilities and all. You will be understanding those facilities slowly. Okay, and next one. If you install Visual Studio 2012, you'll be getting version 4.5. If you install Visual Studio 2013, you'll be getting version 4.5.1. Okay, there are different things are there. See here, initially we have different languages and all. See here, for application development and all, earlier we used to have C, C++, etc. And long days we used to have C++. Then CFS, okay, C++, okay, something called frame classes, etc. And in the year like around 85, I think, around 85 to 2000, VB is the best programming language in the market. Okay, there is no competitor for VB. At that time, Java came to the picture. Java changed the world. Everybody knows that. Java is fully network oriented, secure oriented, and all. Okay, and then what happened? Parallelly, .NET has been introduced, but .NET has been introduced in the year 2001. Okay, before 2001, there is no .NET. Okay, let's come into other frameworks and all. We discuss this one, right? Let's see the next one. So .NET. Okay, what is .NET? We can say that it's first of all the advantage related to .NET. Okay, .NET support many languages. Okay, .NET support many languages. Okay, all languages in the .NET are OOPs, object-oriented programming. When you talk about the OOPs, OOPs are fully secured. OOPs are fully secured. You can rely on them. Okay, so you can understand that bank customers are programmable using OOPs. Okay, email customers are programmable using OOPs. Like many things are there. OOPs are fully secured. Okay, completely OOPs coming with completely separate entities and all. Next one, what will be called, some applications are integrated. Okay, see, generally while working with the .NET evaluation, you can say that OOPs programmings are a bit different. Okay, then you have something called as COM components, then you have something called as database, .NET framework. So where does .NET framework came? .NET framework came from with a previous feature called as component object model, COM. Before that we used to have OOPs models. Okay, but what are OOPs? When you talk about the OOPs, OOPs are nothing but separate entities. Okay, what are separate entities? The entities which are available, okay, in separate place where we can store, okay, we can restrict where we can manipulate anything. So OOPs are completely individual entity. If you are able to see this example, when you want to have OOPs programming, this entity is different from this entity. Okay, there is a previous problems in object-oriented programming. Okay, easy application has its own, every application has its own component that may not be shared with the applications. Then next to the OOPs, there is something called as a COM. COM stands for component object model. What is component object model? Component object model allows you to communicate with different objects. I can tell you a small example. My student database can be communicated with lecturer database or employee database. COM provides integration of objects with plumbing feature like OLEDB, etc. With a COM feature, we can communicate with different components. Okay, these components are built on common platform with intention to sharing and reusing components. Okay, in the COM there is a problem that plumbing is required. Plumbing is required in the sense there should be a mediator person who should be able to apply the communication. Coming to the .NET framework, .NET framework is coming with what will be called as an inbuilt feature with this what will be called communication from different components. So .NET is a framework built up with standards and objects that can directly interact where plumbing is not required. Okay, so you'll understand this one in a bit. And .NET components are written using VB.NET. Our objects can communicate directly. Okay, one second. Okay, so history of .NET, you know, okay, .NET has been introduced in the year 2000, okay, with a version called as a 1.0, but there are a lot of issues in that one, and they came up with 1.1. From 1.1 onwards, .NET is fully secure. Okay. Advantage of .NET we already discussed. Once again, we'll repeat. It's a common language specification. I'll tell you. Architecture of .NET. How a .NET works. Okay. Any programming language can create application or can develop application. Okay. So you can communicate with the .NET. So how it works? For example, you are communicating with VB, or you are communicating with C#, or you are communicating with some C++. Okay, how a .NET may work. See, there is a logic behind that. What exactly will work? We'll see with the help of .NET architecture. So first of all, see, every programming language has its own compiler. Do remember that .NET programming languages must have compilers. They should not have anything like interpreters, etc. passing. Okay, it needs something like a compiler. Example, if you work with a VB.NET, VB.NET has VBC compiler, whereas C# has CSC compiler. VB.NET has its own compiler. Understand? Different compilers are there. Now what exactly happens when you compile a program? Whether you use a VB.NET, VC# compiler, whatever in C++, it will generate something called as IL code. Even if you use a VB, IL. If you use a VC#, IL. VC++, I. So you can understand that any programming language should have its respect to compiler in the .NET. What a compiler will do? A compiler will convert the given code, okay, from user given syntax to IL. Then what is an IL? What is IL? IL stands for intermediate language. What is IL? IL stands for intermediate language. What is intermediate language? It is a standard input code for .NET framework, okay, to process. Am I clear? To process. So actually you need to supply IL. Okay, you need to supply IL. We can't supply IL, but what we will be doing is we're taking the support of programming languages. Every programming language will develop this IL. So what it is? IL is nothing but intermediate language. Okay, how IL gets generated? Okay, by build the application. Okay, when the application is built, okay, do remember, when the application is built, IL gets generated. Am I clear? So every programming language, as I said you that when you compile a program, an IL gets generated. Okay, build is nothing but the compiling. IL gets generated. So this is the first step. Then what IL will do? Okay, IL take the support of JIT. What it is? JIT. So what is JIT again? Just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler. What it is? This compiler will, okay, convert IL code to native code. What again is native code? Native code is an operating system understandable code. Okay, so your IL code will take the support of JIT and it will convert into the native code. Whereas that native code will execute in the system and makes your application to be processed. Okay, so this is a .NET architecture, or you can say, okay, program execution in .NET. Who will take care about all these things? There should be a person called as runtime, RT. Who is RT in .NET? CLR. What is a CLR? Common Language Runtime. So Common Language Runtime, what it will do is it makes you to convert your programming language into IL into the native code. Whereas native codes are the common codes for Windows operating system. Do remember that native code is Windows operating system for CLR. For mono CLR, it will be native to the particular operating system where you are going to be working. Okay, and do remember that in .NET, every program will be compiled 2 times. Okay, 2 times. One from programming language to IL. Okay, second one IL to native. We'll see this IL to native. Guys, clear? Okay, let's before continuing, let's see that whether you have any doubts. Abhinit.
Yeah, can I have 2 doubts? One is, can you explain a bit more about the COM components and how the plumbing works? And second is, I mean, I'm not sure whether this JIT is the one which converts IL to native code. Well, as far as I know,
Yes.
JIT, it is used for the dynamic, the dynamic loading kind of thing. Is it the one which converts IL to native code?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
dynamic loading is required. IL to native is a dynamic loading.
Okay then. Okay.
IL2 native is a dynamic loading. So dynamic loading will be taken care by the JIT only.
Okay.
Right? Right.
Okay.
And your question is like, yeah, what is this COM components, and right? See here, these are the earlier, before that, what will be called, I can tell you a small example here. Let's see this. Okay, so plumbing is required in the sense, I'll tell you a small example here. For example, you have two applications, okay, an application which is having two libraries, okay. So earlier we don't have anything like a repositories, okay. From .NET onwards we have a concept called as a repository. That repository is nothing but a assembly code. This is a repository for all your libraries. Okay, before .NET, okay, we used to have COM components, and those COM components, there is no repository. We used to have something called as individual components. Okay, for example, you want to compare two classroom attendances. For example, think that there are two colleges, one college in two branches. One is in one area, another one is another area. So when you have that type of things, you need to have two applications working in two places. Okay, so definitely when you do that one, they used to have the COM components. So college 1 use a component 1, college 2 use a component 2. But if you want to communicate with the component 1 and component 2, that is not possible directly. That is possible with the help of internal architecture called as plumbing features. Okay, so generally we'll be using, earlier as per my knowledge, they used to have OLEDB as a plumbing feature. With the help of that one, I can tell you a small example here. For example, you want to compare with branch 1 students with branch 2. Okay, when you compare branch 1 to branch 2, what happens, you know, a result gets generated. Once a result is generated, next day, if anything happen in the branch 1, it will not be updated immediately. It need a plumbing, something called as, you need to refresh that one. So that feature is called as a plumbing. Okay, but while working with the .NET, that plumbing features are not required here. Okay, what do you mean by this one? Once you write a code, okay, you're writing libraries. Libraries will be hosted in the assemblies here. Once a library is hosted here, when you try to consume that library will refresh the what will be called changes made. Okay, so but this plumbing feature is not required in your .NET framework. What I mean to say is clear? Abhinit, clear?
Yeah, I mean, not fully. I mean, I still haven't understood. I mean, the example which you're giving, like in the case of plumbing.
Plumbing in the sense, what I mean to say, you need to have some extra effect to this required, like refresh and all. Okay, which will not be happen anything directly. So I'll tell you a small example here. You think that you're a parent. You have your own database and application in your company, like employee portal is there, right? So your employee portal, in the sense, a portal will be, see what I mean to say is before .NET, okay? When you don't have .NET, earlier we used to have a components and all. The thing that you wrote one component which is going to be handling employee payroll system. Am I clear?
Yeah.
And for example, your company is also offering what will be called as a school feature for the students of the employees. For them, they wrote their own application. That application, again, it is developed in some other language. They are having their own component, like VB or something. Now, what is my question is, your salary to be deducted from your employee portal and his fees to be credited over there. So you can understand that his fee payment to be happen from two components. Component 1 to be deducted, component 2 to be credited. Am I clear?
Yes.
So if you do that one before .NET, we used to have a COM components. So COM components, what they will do is, it will go and pull and do it. To do that one, there will be something called as what will be called as some additional work is required. You cannot do it directly. So there should be a request to be sent to the third party. Third party will go there and will get it. Am I clear? If you don't do any changes, what happens? You know, the old procedure will be followed. Okay, that is what exactly need any updation called as plumbing feature. Whereas in .NET, it's not like this. It will automatically happen. I can tell you a small example. Your employee portal has been developed using VB.NET. Student portal is maintaining using C#.NET. Okay, but both applications can be communicated at any time without writing any plumbing feature. For example, in that your salary has been increased. Okay, his school fees has been increased. By simply sending a notification, he can pull the fees from your application directly without interacting or without adding any additional code. That as per my knowledge. Clear?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Very good. Next one. Karthik.
So Kiran, I have a question here. So suppose if we are developing in a different operating system, okay, and if you want to compile that in .NET framework, do we?
.NET applications, I think that you wrote one program which is run in Unix and another one which is run. Okay, yes, I'll tell you the solution. See here, one thing you need to remember here, the input provided by the user in .NET, when it is built, it is going to be producing something called as assembly.
Okay.
Okay, whatever it may be, whether it's a Windows operating system or Linux operating system, etc. Am I clear? Okay. The first thing you need to remember. See here, while writing a program, you have to be very, very clear. Okay, others, hope you understand his question, right? His question is, he's having a C# program, one program in Linux, one program in Windows. Do we need to recompile? I'll tell you the solution. Any .NET, the output will be assembly, and an assembly can be a DLL or EXE. Do remember that. It's not only DLL or not EXE. It can be anything. Am I clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now, DLL is for what? To consume, not to execute. DLL only for consume. Can be consumed. Or you can say must consume. Am I clear? Cannot execute. This is one point you need to remember. Am I clear? So what about this EXE? Must execute. Okay? Cannot consume. Am I clear? Now, your question is, you said that one you developed this. See, if you develop a library here, that library can be directly consumed here. You need not to worry. Am I clear? Why? Because library contains what? .dll extension. .dll contains what? IL code. IL code contains what? Standard input code for .NET. Okay. So that .NET, what happened, you have an IL, right? See here, this assembly, whatever you build, it is an input. As I said you that every program need to be compiled twice, right? So your thing is, we'll be having the first time compilation. So second time compilation is mandatory. Am I clear?
Okay.
So this will be taken care by this one what? JIT will take care of this. Am I clear? So JIT will take care of this. So you need to be very, very clear that the second time need a second consumption that JIT will take care. So definitely you need to have that to be processed the second level, first level need not to happen. Am I clear? So first level compilation need not to happen, second level execution must require. Is this clear?
One question here, Kiran. So you said that it is platform dependent, right? I mean, as far as Microsoft is concerned, it's
100%.
platform dependent. So my question is like, I have developed an application in Unix operating system.
Application. So, what is application?
Yeah.
Is it EXE or DLL?
No, that DLL concept won't be there in Unix, right? That is something specific to .NET.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, libraries are some library extensions are there. Okay.
Yeah, extensions, but the Unix libraries are different, right? So if I want to reuse that application, or if I want to enhance that application whichever developed in Unix operating system in .NET,
yes,
I have to take that entire code from from that Unix operating system, whatever developed. I have to convert everything into DLL and EXE, whichever .NET understands, right?
Absolutely. You can do that one. You have to do that one. There are some plugins out there which converts this one. Okay, the plugins will take care about this one from converting from operating system to another operating system. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we discussed all these things, and do remember that here .NET is a bit costly. For practice purpose, .NET software is available free to download with a version called as a Visual Studio Express Editions. Express Edition is free to download. Okay, but limited period. Okay, I want to tell you something like Visual Studio 2012, okay, Express for Windows. Okay, you can see that one. This is for Windows Phone development, okay, Windows apps development. Okay, using XAML. Okay, let's Visual Studio for desktop. Okay, this is for developing console application, Windows application. Okay, so you can say class libraries. Okay, and you can even call it as a Windows services. So if you install this software, you can develop any one of these 4 kind of applications. And when you install Visual Studio for web, okay, you can develop a website, you can develop a web application and a class libraries for web applications, okay, and you can say web services. Okay, so these are the 3 kind of applications which can be developed with .NET. So you can understand very clearly that limited edition, Express edition softwares are seen. Express edition softwares are free to download. Okay, with limited period. So if you install this, you can go for the Windows. If you install this, you can go for the console, Windows, class libraries, Windows services. If you install this one, web application, Windows application, and a web application can be ASP.NET you can use. Okay, and it also supports something called as MVC also. That is also possible. Clear, right? Next, what is the next one? Right, I explained this one, frameworks clearly. Different versions are there. Okay, different framework features we have seen. Okay, and different base class libraries, etc. Okay, so .NET libraries, ready-made libraries in the .NET. Okay, as I said you that there are huge amount of libraries are there. Okay, these are generally called as class libraries, CL class libraries. We'll be calling as a BCL and FCL. Okay, we'll be calling as base class libraries. Okay, and frame class libraries. Okay, so libraries are 2 types, base class libraries and frame class libraries, which are ready to consume, available in the form of DLL. Okay, next one. So .NET can communicate with any database. Okay, so do remember that .NET here, in order to work with .NET, okay, there are many languages. In order to work with .NET, there are many languages. Okay, and coming to the data types. So there is a lot of problems while working with the .NET data types. In order to overcome that one, data types has been released as a separate hierarchy called as Common Type System. Okay, so you can understand that it is, okay, a hierarchy, okay, with all the data types supported in .NET. Okay, it's a hierarchy with all the each and every data type which is available in the .NET are provided in a separate hierarchy called as CTS. Okay, so do remember that whether you use, okay, VB.NET or CH.NET, okay, the data types will come from CTS. Okay, system.object is a namespace. Okay, contains all structures. Okay, all structures for data types. So you can understand that there is a very big problem while communicating from one language to another language, like a data type. So you know that Java integer is 4 bytes, C integer is 2 bytes, C character is 1 byte, Java character is 2 bytes. So like this, integration problems are required. Integration problems are there. While coming to .NET, those sort of problems are not there. Why? Because .NET is coming with its programming language, okay, languages, and all the languages are going to be consuming their data types from the CTS. Okay, as I said, you that 40-50 languages which are there. Every language have to consume their data types from the same place called as a CTS, Common Type System. Hope you understand what is Common Type System. Common Type System is nothing but a data types which are available in the .NET. And do remember, all the data types are available in the system.object. Okay, we'll understand them in detail in a bit. So coming to the next one. Okay, so class libraries, as I said you that there are huge amount of class libraries are there. Okay, and it's having a very powerful framework. Okay, and it's having a database connectivity layer. So what I can do is .NET is very comfortable, okay, to communicate with any database, okay, and any data source. So you can communicate with databases like Oracle, SQL Server, SQL, etc. Okay, and connecting files like XML, okay, Excel, etc. Okay, and to communicate we'll be using Edureka.net, okay, which provides different methodologies like Edureka.net. Okay, you can use a link, you can use the entity framework, etc. models which are allow you to communicate with the database. Okay, you can communicate with the database using Edureka.net. You can use link you can use an entity framework. Okay, and many things are there like Hibernate, etc. Many things are there which are used to communicate with the database. Then in order to work with this, there are mainly 3 specifications. Okay, so 3 specifications, okay, about .NET framework to develop applications. Okay, so first one is mobile specification. It's not the first one, it's the last one. Mobile specification for developing applications for tab and mobiles. Okay, Windows form specification for console applications, Windows applications, Windows services, and class libraries. So I think I've given here, you can say that Visual Studio Express, this is for mobile specification, this is for mobile specification. App specification, this is for Windows specification. Okay, and what about the last one? This is for ASP.NET specification. Web for ASP, web for ASP. Clear? So you understand the architecture, okay, which we have been already discussed, which works in other operating systems. Okay, we have a powerful runtime. So CLR is a common language runtime. Okay, so CLR. Okay, so CLR is a common language runtime. Okay, it is an RT for .NET. What is an RT for runtime? Okay, which is responsible for compiling the code and executing the application. CLR, common language runtime. Okay, next, base class libraries. As I said you that we have many hundreds of, not thousands of libraries. Okay, data access layers. We have a separate layers for communicating to data. We can use the Edureka.net. We can use the link providers. We can use the XML data providers, etc. Okay, and while working with different applications, you have services. You can go for workflows and all. It's not related to our subject. Okay, you can develop the web applications. You can develop the Windows applications. You can develop something called mobile applications, etc. Okay, and different languages you can use. As I said, there are many languages are there. Okay, and we have seen what is CLR, what is assembly. Okay, CLR is nothing but a common language runtime. Assemblies are nothing but class libraries. Programming languages are the languages which are used for application development. We already seen that what is a CLR, what it is going to be do. CLR execution model, as I said you that every programming language will compile, and the compile language is going to be generating the IL code, and the IL code will take the support of JIT, and the JIT will convert into the native code, whereas native code is the operating system standalone code, understandable code. Okay, same thing. So while working with the .NET, see, in order to work with .NET, the codes has been separated into 2 types called as managed codes and unmanaged codes. Okay, any managed code can communicate together. Okay, so here, as I said you that many languages like C#.NET, VB.NET, VC++.NET, etc. Okay, all these languages are managed codes. So any language which is not supported by .NET called as unmanaged codes. So unmanaged codes cannot communicate with the .NET, and managed codes can be communicated. Example, I can say that I can't use C for writing .NET application. Okay, like this thing called as unmanaged code, or else I'm directly using the Pascal without a plugin called as unmanaged code. So whereas unmanaged codes cannot communicate, whereas managed codes can be communicated. Okay. Next, you can say this: managed codes are designed using the managed codes are developed using the .NET CLRs, and the managed codes directly done using the program compilers. Okay, so you know that how it will be executed. Okay, so what are the components of CLR? Generally, working with components of CLR, we have many components. Okay, CTS is there. What a CTS will do? CTS contains all the data types. Okay, where it's one of the best component of the CLR. Okay, the next one, IL. CTL will convert to the next one to the IL. I mean, your programming language will be converted into IL. Okay, IL takes the support of JIT. JIT will convert into the native code. Okay, finally you will be having one more component in CLR which takes the responsibility like freeing up the memory and all with the help of garbage collector feature. And I said you that there are different data types supported in the .NET. All data types are supported in .NET called as CTS, common type systems. Okay, you'll be understanding this one in a bit clearly. So IL, what it will do? Intermediate on JIT will convert IL to native code. Okay, which we have. See, I explained this one, so that's the reason I'm scrolling the slides. Okay, native code. Native code is nothing but a particular operating system understandable code. Okay, which is very faster in execution. Garbage collectors. Okay, so I have some questions here. What is the question? Let's see the question. .NET is a programming language or not? First question for the freshers. Okay, it's not a programming language. It is a framework. .NET core languages, you can say C++, C#, VB.NET. Okay, some third-party languages or plugins you can call it as Perl, PHP, Python, etc. Whatever it may be. Okay, an application is created in one language, say VB.NET, can be consumed with .NET. Absolutely, we can do it. Okay, with the help of a feature called as language interoperable. Okay, so coming to the next concept. So I'm going to be starting what is Visual Studio and some of the tips, tricks, etc. like followed by solution, project, etc. In order to work with .NET, in order to develop application in .NET, okay, so we have a powerful application software. Instead of powerful application software, I can tell you an intelligent application software. So what do you mean by intelligent? It also helps you to complete your code. Not only, it's not a place to write the application. Okay, Visual Studio is not only the place to write the application, it's also a place where it can help you to complete the execution. So that is the reason I am telling you it's a intelligent application software. Am I clear? So .NET is powerful because of this feature. See here, .NET, the importance of the .NET has been keep on increasing with the help of this Visual Studio. Okay, let's see this what are mentioned in the Visual Studio. Okay, I think we are into 50. Okay, right. 1 second, 50. Let's go back. Right. Okay, so Visual Studio. Okay, it is a very powerful and a friendly and an intelligent software. Okay, so it's an application package which helps you to create, debug and run .NET applications. Okay, it simplifies. It is having a lot of additional windows, lot of different windows and all. Will have a lot of facilities which simplifies your application development. Okay, it is an intelligent software which simplifies application development targeting to .NET languages. Okay, and do remember that Visual Studio, okay, is an application software, comes with built-in framework. Visual Studio is an application software, okay, comes with built-in framework. Okay, so Visual Studio, when you install a Visual Studio, contains, okay, developer framework. Visual Studio will contain developer framework. If you install a framework, you will not get Visual Studio. Do remember. If you install a Visual Studio, you'll be getting a framework, but if you install a framework, you'll not get a Visual Studio. Okay, so Visual Studios are coming with developer frameworks. Okay, that is the one thing you need to point. Okay, and Visual Studio is an IDE. So what do you mean by IDE? Integrated Development Environment. So what do you mean by this one? I mean to say that drag drop features are there. Okay, so you can say utilize drag drop features. Okay, so what happened, you know, generate, okay, related code by itself. Generate code by itself. That's the advantage. When you use a drag and drop features, the respective code will be generated. And this environment allows you to run the application, debug the application, and what will be called develop the program. Develop the application, run the application, debug the application. Okay, and this environment is also having very powerful features like other environments may not have. Okay, let's see this. What are the features? Okay, so I can say that there is a feature called as, again, unique features. There is a feature called as code snippets. There is a feature called as code snippets. There is a feature called as reference highlighting. Okay, there is a feature called as intelligence. Okay, the autocomplete features. Okay, many features are there. Okay, so what is the first feature? Code snippets. See, these features, okay, this feature, okay, complete the syntax, okay, by itself. You need not write, okay, with tab plus tab. We'll be calling this a tab feature. Code snippets will work with tab. What is this feature? I'll be starting a Visual Studio. Okay, I have Visual Studio 2012 installed in my machine, and my framework is Visual Studio .NET Framework 4.0. Okay, so 4.5. Let's go to the help, and you can go to the about Microsoft Visual Studio. You can see what framework. My framework version is 4.5. Okay, it's just a 4.5. If you install a 2013, your framework will be 4.5.1. Okay, now what other features is, before starting code snippets, let's see the code snippets, then we can continue. What I'm trying to do is, I'll open one of the solution which I already created. Okay, to explain the code snippets, I'm directly opening a feature, thing which is already exist. Now what is my question is, okay, this is my console application. If you are able to see my console application, okay, this is a console application. Now what is the feature which I have? Okay, for example, I want to write a static void main. Do remember that code snippets will work with tab feature. I can simply say SVM tab, simply click tab. So I'll be getting a feature, static void main. Okay, you need not to write the code. I want to type something, CW console.writeline, tab. I want to have a for loop, for tab. Okay, I want to have a for each. Okay, for each, tab. I would like to have a switch case, tab. Okay, I want to have if condition, tab. I would like to have a while loop. Okay, I would like to have a while loop, tab. Okay, do, tab. I want to have a properties, tab. Okay, anything. Okay, so these features will make your application writing. It makes programmer life simple. It makes programmer life simple. Programmers will be very comfortable while using these features. Okay, so this feature is more powerful in Visual Studio. It's not a unique feature, but very powerful feature comparing to other environments. Okay, this feature is calling as a code snippets. Okay, code snippets are the feature which makes programmer life simple. Okay, this feature completes the syntax by itself where using the tab. What is the next feature? Reference highlighting. String name. I'm using name. Let's place a mouse over the any keyword. The respective information will be displayed. So this feature is called as a reference highlighting. This feature keeps on providing you the information whenever you want to have. So there is a warning here. A warning related reference has been displayed over there. Even this feature is a unique feature. Reference highlighting. Am I clear? Reference highlighting. By providing, or you can say by mouse over on a keyword or a variables anywhere. The respective messages will be displayed. The respective messages like info, errors, warnings, etc. will be displayed. This is called as reference highlighting. What is the next feature? Intelligence. Intelligence feature is auto-complete feature, where we have intelligence. We have IntelliType type. So what is intelligence? If you want to type something, for example, I would like to start, something starts with A, just type A related things will be displayed. See, A related things happen. Am I clear? If you say B related things are there. If you say some F related statements, G related statements, J related statements, like whatever it may be. So the thing is, it simplifies to not to remember. It makes very easy to continue. Not only that, I want to type something like console. You want to have it, just enter. It will automatically type. Console dot write. I'll select this whatever I want to have, enter. It will automatically create. So this feature is called as intelligence and IntelliType. Here, the next one, auto generation of code. So for creating any application or for developing any application, whatever the code you want to have, that code will be automatically generated. You can generate the code automatically. Let's say this. I would like to have an application. Let's say this. I can create an application like this. Add new application, new project. When I click on this, my new project has been automatically created. The respective code automatically generated. If you are able to see this, the respective code automatically generated. The initial code. For example, I have a Windows application. The respective code will be automatically generated. So user need not to write any code. So you can understand that these codes are automatically generated. If you try to generate this, you'll be having hundreds of lines of code. It will take some time. But this environment helps you to not to type the code. Am I clear? So this feature is called as auto generation of code. Some features of IDE. Next, here in order to start the application, let's understand a small concept. In .NET we have an advantage. Whatever we are trying to talk, we can show that one. So we have to know what is a solution and what is a project. What is a solution and what is a project? See here, solution is a collection of projects. What is a solution? Solution is a collection of projects. Then what is a project? Project refers to an application. A project is an application. Or can be a library. A project is an application. Any application what you are going to be developing in the .NET will be called as projects. And do remember that in .NET projects exist inside solution. Am I clear? In .NET projects exist inside solution. So you can say that without solution project cannot exist. Okay, so then why do we need solution? Why do we need solution? Okay, solution is used to group the projects. Why do we need solution? Solution is used to group a project. Okay, a solution can have any number of projects, okay, and any kind of projects, any number of projects, okay, and any kind of projects. You can say that I can have one console application, I can have one Windows application, or I can have 10 console applications. Okay, then the extension of the project, file extension for the projects, extension of project, okay, will be .prog, okay, based on type, based on language. Example, C#.NET projects, okay, contains .csprog. So C#.NET projects contains an extension .csprog. VB.NET contains extension like .vbprog. So you can understand that every project contains an extension, okay, called as project. Am I clear? Let's see the next one. What is a solution? Solution is a collection of projects. What is the extension of solution? What is the file extension of solution? Okay, the extension of solution is .sln. .sln. Let's see this in practical. Now what I'll do is, irrespective of any environment, you'll be able to see, okay, file menu. In the file menu, what I'm trying to do is, I'm using new project. Okay, so this feature allows me to develop a project, or I can develop a website. Let's start with developing a project. Okay, next, when I click on the project, in the left side you'll be able to see the templates like programming languages, etc. In the right side you can see what kind of applications that a language allows. Am I clear? Now when you work on with this one, you'll be able to, you need to provide some values. Example, here it is asking to provide 3 values. What are the values? Name. Name refers to project name. Solution. Solution name refers to solution name. Whereas location refers to the place where you want to say. For example, let's see this. My batch is around, okay, see, I'm taking, creating a folder in the name of Mr. Abhinit. So I can give something called as Abhinit solution. So what is a solution? Solution is a collection of projects. And coming to the name, in the name I can give what application you want to sell. You can give, for example, I would like to have console application. Let's start with a name called Con App 1. So this indicates you are going to be creating a console application in C# and in the location Abhinit solution. And here I given one mark, okay, create directory. I would like to have a separate directory. Please click on OK button so that a project gets created for you. Okay, and do remember that project exists inside a solution. Now the solution is Abhinit solution and it contains one console application. Am I clear? And I said you clearly that a solution is a collection of projects. Solution can have any number of projects and any type of projects. Instead of any kind, you can say any type. Okay, let's see this. For example, I want to add a project in the Solution Explorer. Right click on Add button, create a new project. Okay, I selected Windows Forms. Okay, please click on OK. I'll be getting a VB project. Windows Forms project. Now, if you're able to see in the first line, one solution, 2 projects. Right click on this one, Add New Project. I'll be selecting Visual Basic. Even I can select a Visual Basic. Okay, so what it is? Console application. Please select. Okay, in the same way, if you want to have something else, same way, right click on the solution, Add New Project. Okay, in the left side, I'll be selecting a C#. Okay, I'll be selecting empty project. Okay, let's click on it. So as I said you that a solution can have any number of projects and any type of projects. Okay, let's see. VCX project. C++ projects will be VCX project. Okay, we see plus projects. Right, I can say this. Now as I said you that solution contains extension .sln. Simply right click on the solution, go to the open folder in File Explorer. Okay, you can able to see that this is a solution. It is my repository of all the projects. If you are able to see the last file, it is Abhinit solution. Okay, let's add it, enter, or right click and see the properties. You can see the extension .sln. Okay, as I said you that the extension for the solution will be .sln. I can see the projects here, or else right click on any project, go to the open folder in File Explorer. Okay, here you can see that solution. Okay, it's a C# file, right? And it's a C# project. If you're able to see this, there is a project has been created for you, and the extension for the project is .csproj. See this? There is an extension .csproj. As I said you that extension of projects will be proj. If you select Visual C#, let's go to the open folder in File Explorer. Okay, let's vcx proj. I think I given something else. vcx proj. Clear? So projects are nothing but applications. Okay, solution is collection of projects. Okay, hope you guys understand, right? And next one, Visual Studio helps you to simplify application development. Okay, Visual Studio helps to simplify application development. Okay, with its components. What are the components? Example, there is a code window. This is something called as class files, code windows, etc. Okay, what are these windows? These windows makes your application to be very faster. Okay, so components, Visual Studio components exist in view. Okay, let's see this. What are the components? We have something called screens, or you can say UI windows. Okay, screens are called as forms, and you have something called as code window. Okay, we have something called toolbox. We have properties. Okay, we'll have code window, toolbox, properties. Okay, solution explorer. Okay, so we have something called server explorer. Okay, so many things are there. Okay, so when you create an application, respective windows will be displayed. Okay, let's say this. Here, this is your code window where you have a program. Okay, for example, I selected Windows. If you open this, you'll be getting the screen. Okay, as I said you that .NET Visual Studio makes your application simple. Visual Studio will write the code. Okay, if you open this, the screen designing related code has been designed in designer.cs. So your designer.cs will write the respective code by itself. It's not a feature of .NET, it's a feature of Visual Studio. Clear? For example, I'll add a button. There is a toolbox. So toolbox is a component where we can see all the tools. You can see the toolbox. Okay. So for everything you have some options on shortcut keys. If you want to open the screens, you can say F7. If you open the code window, you have to use this is Shift F7. This is F7. Okay. Toolbox Alt Control X. Okay. Properties, you can say F4. Solution Explorer Alt Control plus L. Okay. Server Explorer Alt Control S. Okay. What are these? Simple examples. Might be some people know already. So this is toolbox. So I can select a tool. I can place some controls over there. So in order to do these controls and all, you need not write code. Okay, as I said you that you can select this. Okay, you can drag, you can drop it. This is something called as screens. Okay, if you want to generate a code, simply double click it. The code gets generated, and this window is called as code window. And this window helps you to write the code. This window helps you to write the code. You can see over here. Clear? And toolbox. If you want to have the toolbox, go to the design, Alt Control X. So these code tools will be automatically used. And do remember that, okay, here, when a tool is added, in the screen, what happens, the respective, okay, objects gets created. Am I clear? When a tool is added, respective objects gets created. Okay, so when the tool is, okay, when the tool modified, okay, like changing the code, etc. Okay, so the properties will be automatically modified. Okay, so the tool, when you do any changes in the tools, the respective properties will be automatically modified. Okay, so we have seen different parts, like, right, and also we have seen how to create a project and how to create any application. Let's see how to build the application. Okay, so how to build the application. Okay, so what exactly build refers to? Build refers to, okay, generate IL. What is build? Refers to generate IL. Okay, when the program is compiled, okay, an IL gets generated. Okay, when the program is compiled, an IL gets generated. Okay, so here, how to build application. So first of all, building application, let's understand what is build. Build refers to generate IL. Okay, see, any program, okay, needs to be converted, okay, to IL in .NET. Okay, this process is called as a building. Okay, let's say this. I have an application like console application. Many things are there. Okay, let's see this applications by default. Okay, let's see this. So when you right click here, listen, I don't have any code, just a main function. Right click here and a build. So what happens, an assembly gets created. So you can understand that when you build, an assembly gets created. Okay, so what exactly assembly is an IL? Right click on this one, open folder in File Explorer. If you open a bin, if you open a DLL, you can be able to see that exe has been created. See, wherever you have a program with an extension .exe, okay, so that indicates a program which contains a main method. Any program which contains a main method, that type of programs are going to be generating .exes. For example, I have a class library. What is a class library? Let me see this. Class library. In the C#, I'm selecting a class library. I'm writing my library 1. So what is this my library? It's a class which doesn't have any main. So a class doesn't have a library, a main, it is going to be generating the DLL. Let's build it. Okay, now go and see this properties. Okay, open. So you'll be getting the DLL. So you can understand that DLL is going to be created. Understand? So what is building a project? Building is a process. Okay, how to build a project? Simple. Okay, select the project in the Solution Explorer. Okay, and right click on it. That is one way. Okay, or else Control Shift B, Control plus Shift plus B. Okay, so we'll be getting. Okay, so what is building? Building refers to generating the IL. Okay, so any program to be converted, and do remember that. Okay, a program contains, or a project, a program contains main method. Okay, generates exe. Okay, a program without main method generate DLL. This is what exactly calls a build. Okay, build application. Next one, what is clean application? Clean application. Okay, clean application is used to delete the assembly. Okay, like DL, all DLLs. Okay, DLL and the exe file gets deleted. Understand? If you have any DLL and if you have any exe, that files get deleted. Let's see this. I have a folder. Okay, if you're able to see this, I have a folder. Let's see, we created one DLL, right? Okay, see here. In my library, I have one DLL, if you're able to see this. Okay, when I right click here, okay, clean. Okay, what is the clean? The DLL gets deleted. Okay, any DLL or EXEs. Let's open this Common application right now. Go to the open folder, Explorer. Okay, bin, you have this one. Like you have exe files and supported files. When you right click here, right click on this one, okay, clean. So when you clean, what happens, you know, it will clean the files. So you can understand that the respective files which are required for application IL, the IL codes, whether it will be DLL or exe, gets erased when you click on this clean project. Okay, now what is build? Okay, what is build and what is the difference between rebuild? Okay, so here build builds only the recent added programs. Understand? Okay, so the builded programs will not be built again. Okay, when it is already built, it will not build it. So you have to be very, very clear. The build will not build the new programs. So what is the next one? Rebuild. So rebuild in the sense, rebuild is equal to clean plus build. So it cleans your what will be called components and it will rebuild. That's the reason many times we'll stop the execution or we'll execute the execution and then it will automatically generate. Right? So we have seen what is a project, how to create a project, okay, how to what we can do, how to create a project, how to build it, how to rebuild, how to clean. Clear guys? Then we can see what are the different types of applications we have. First of all, we'll see console application, Windows application. We'll see what exactly it works. Windows services. Okay. Now when we say that console application, okay, it is an application which doesn't have any UI. Okay, that type of applications are called as console applications. Okay, so what do you mean by console application? Any application which doesn't have any UI. Okay, console applications are the applications without UI. There is no UI. Whenever you don't have any UI, that will be called as a console application. You can say that instruction-based applications, okay, which will be operated by will, okay, are created using instruction-based console application. Okay, now I can say that, okay, here CW something console application, I'm writing something called, okay, welcome at, you can say datetime dot, okay, dot now dot to now. So this is instruction list. When you want to execute this, you will not be having any environment. Okay, a UI which takes an input, a UI which displays output in the form of what will be called text. Okay, this is what exactly called as console application. Okay, so now this application I can operate anywhere. So in order to execute this application, you need not to install anything, you need not to load anything, just give the instruction in, it will automatically work. So console applications are instruction based. Windows applications, these are native to Windows operating system. Windows applications are native to Windows operating system, okay, which is very faster. Okay, so UI based applications, okay, and Windows screens will be Windows OS dependent. Okay, so you have again two types. Okay, Windows Forms, okay, and WPF. So Windows Forms are Windows OS applications like XP, NT, etc. What is WPF? You can say that Windows Presentation Foundation. Okay, you can say very powerful, rich user interface, rich user interface, rich user interface. Okay, so what is this rich user interface? Okay, so applications like Windows 8, okay, Windows 7, etc. Okay, works using Java code. Okay, these are. The next one, what are Windows services? Windows services. Okay, when you open anything like start services.msc. Okay, all these are the services-based applications. These are the applications which are executing in the background. Okay, what do you mean by background? OS background. If you are able to see this, all these are Windows services. Windows services based applications. These are the applications which will be executed in the background. Okay, so you can understand that Windows services. Okay, it is a program. Okay, without UI. Okay, these are the programs. Okay, runs in background of the screens. Background runs in background. Okay, services will background. Like you can say that antivirus. Okay, Windows update, okay, trackers, etc. All these are the Windows services. Okay, you can see the Windows services. Start, run, services.msc. Okay, so Windows services are the programs which are going to be executing in the background of the screen. Okay, then what is a class library? I have to tell you one more example here. So class libraries are nothing but, okay, these are the programs, okay, without main method, okay, used to create libraries, okay, which can be consumed. Am I clear? Class libraries are the libraries which can be consumed. So there is no UI for class libraries also. So the next one is web application and website. Web application and websites. What is a web application? It is an application hosted in web server. Okay, any application hosted in web server called as web application. Any application, okay, which is hosted in web server called as web application. So why it is, okay, accessible in web. That is the one thing. Next one, what is a web service? Okay, it is again a service program. It is a service library. Okay, can be consumed in, okay, any application in any technology. Any application on any technology. Example, my web application can be accessible in internet where I can see the application in any technology. Example, a Java application can be operated in .NET. .NET application can be operated in Java. Clear? So these are the applications which we are going to be working. So we are not going to be working with WPF. We are working with Windows Forms. So these are the applications which we are going to be working in our model.